right on time, which is pretty cool. All right. As people begin to filter in for our weekly Ask Me Anything. Yes, I do start with the topic today is finding your joy in your job. But as we get through that, that's just a place setter for us to kick off the conversation. You can bring any question you have about pretty much anything. I'll address it. I'm sure the chat crew will too, because they're full of great, smart people. But this is your opportunity to get anything out that you want to ask, that you are struggling with, just wondering about. We've got you covered. So don't hesitate to hop in your chat wherever you are, be it LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, whatever it is. We're in all those places. Just type in the chat. Hold on, I got to move that. Have I played Hunt Showdown? No. Should I? At your game? Let's see. Let's take a peek. mm. I'll certainly have to give it a whirl. Keep that tab open. Okay. So, Stephen, always good to have you here. I can count on you, my friend. And yes, that book you won is going to make it to you somehow, some way. It's going to happen. It's in my backpack. I carry it around with me all the time. I just need to carry it into a place where I can send it. So that's going to happen. I promise. Topic: how to find joy in your job. This is one of those things that, again, trying to do one of those corny things of lining up with the time of year. This is often a joyous time of year for many. For others, maybe it isn't. Maybe they've had some rough times, rough memories around these parts of the year. So just make sure that you're thoughtful of everybody, and that everybody's experience might not be the same way that yours is. So just be a good friend, a good colleague, whatever it might be, because maybe this is one of those times of year that isn't good for some of your friends. But as I was thinking about how to find joy in your job, the number one thing that came to me was it requires courage for a couple of reasons. One, it's very unlikely that you're going to get it absolutely right out of the gate. That would be wonderful and amazing, but there's still so much to learn when you start your career about yourself and about the world and finding the things that you really enjoy doing. So you're going to have to try a couple different things. You might get comfortable in a job. We've done some podcasts on getting pickled. Maybe you're in a place in a job and a role for a long time and it just becomes like easy. And you get up, you do your thing, you can count on it, and it works. That could work for 15, 20 years. The question is, at the end of your career, do you look back and are you happy? Are you proud? I hope so. Maybe you look back and say, gosh, I wish I could have been happier in my jobs, my role, whatever it might be. So having the willingness and the courage to venture out and try things a little bit differently. You don't have to go crazy, but you're going to have to try different things. You're going to have to make moves with your career that will help you find that sweet spot where you just love it. The second piece is oftentimes we like doing things because we're good at them. That will wear off as you do it over and over and over again. For instance, my oldest child, my daughter, fantastic soccer player, played on one of the top 10 teams in the country. But in, let's see, her freshman year, it's like, Dad, I don't love it. So she had to get up the courage to like tell her parents, who both played in college and were pushing her to get a scholarship and do all that stuff. She had to have the courage, number one, at home, Uh-oh. Someone's at the front door doorbell. Uh, Wonder who that could be. Ooh, Lincoln's got it. Yeah, Lincoln. Oh no, that's not Lincoln. That's River. All right. I'll be back. I know. It's always I can't ever get a smooth stream. Hey, what's going on? How are you? I got it, don't worry. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. Thank you very much. You too. Take care. Same to you. Cookies from the family back there. And we're back. So that is there's a family that is behind us that has a ton of kids, and every year the kids come around and share cookies. What's up, buddy?
Might want to put the suitcase up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because River keeps going through the box and upstairs.
That's fine. Okay. Steven, we're rolling, buddy. We're rolling. Okay, so where was I? Oh, yes. Daughter had to have the courage to say, hey, this thing that we've been doing for a long time and that I've liked for a long time, I don't want to do it anymore. She also had to have the courage to tell her teammates, her coach, all of her friends, I'm pretty much stopping cold turkey. And that came about because she was really good at the sport. So she liked it. But over the years and years of playing, that wore off. So you might be in a job where, oh, well, Stephen, same experience, where you're really good at something. So you feel that reward and excitement for being good at something. And you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it. But at some point, maybe it gets boring. You feel like you've done it. Maybe you have nowhere else to go. You just start getting this feeling like, well, this isn't the same as it was. And that's likely because you liked it because you were good at it and you got rewarded in many ways for being good at a thing. So, number one, it doesn't mean that if you're good at a thing, it's Grand Central Station. Daughter and boyfriend just arrived. It's a half day at school today. This is the last day of school, so there's a lot of excitement in the house. So we'll see how good my microphone skills are with shutting down all the background noise. So that's a thing that I know that I struggled with was I got really good at the thing and I got bored with it. So my thing was coming in, fixing an organization, fixing a product. And I just, as I looked at my fifth or sixth job in a row doing the same thing, I'm like, I can do this. I'm good at it, but I'm kind of tired of it. So I branched off and started my own company and did my thing. What's interesting is that as I've gone full circle, I found that I do really enjoy doing that. So that's what I do with my current company. But what I didn't like was after I fixed all the things, I was kind of stuck there. So this job as a consultant, coach, all those things, I can go in and do the thing and get right back out. So that lets me achieve the thing that I enjoy the most and then keep doing it over and over and over again. That's the thing that puts a smile on my face. that was always the measure for us as parents with our kids in sports is as they walk off the field, most importantly for practice, do they have a smile on their face? And you got to figure it out because it might be like, hey, they're having fun with their friends. They're laughing and joking and doing all those things. But are they like, what's their demeanor as they get in the car? So think about your demeanor as you come home, as you drive home, as you talk to friends, family. What's your demeanor like as you talk about your work? Is it excited? Is it more of the same old, same old? Steven with always fantastic points. You know, Steven, that's a really good point. Why is it a really good point? Because I am a known workaholic and um not all in one thing. I've got a ton of side projects that I do. So that's a lot of my outside of work is still kind of work. It's all in the same realm. So when I look to find something that I'm excited about, it's often a new project. I know we all know about my legendary issues with whip or lack thereof with with my side projects. But yes, there are many people that work to pay the bills, and understandably so. I do that. We all do that. I don't think there are many people that get out of that, but I still would challenge folks with even in that, you're spending a lot of time. Is there a way that you can tweak the work that you're doing? Maybe talk to your boss and find a new side project or something that will excite or challenge you. Or maybe like my dad, my dad was a teacher, which he loved, but in the summer he painted houses, like the outside of houses, up on ladders and all that stuff. Um, and he did it because he could make money and not really have to think about stuff. He could go, he could put his headphones on, and he was happy doing that. So he found his joy there. Well, it's the Agile Biker. Look who it is. He's back. So yeah, Stephen, I think you make a again. I've said it like 3 or 4 times, but it's what you do. Um, it's a really good point around finding what's right for you. Maybe you don't have to go as crazy as Josh does because Josh goes pretty crazy with things. I certainly wouldn't recommend everybody do some of the crazy things that I have done or likely will do because I've left jobs and my friends and family have scratched their heads of like, hey, are you sure? Are you sure about this? This doesn't seem like the right move. And I can completely understand their their viewpoint. But inside, I knew it was the right move for me because it presented me with that next challenge as I was trying to achieve whatever I was trying to achieve at the time, be it larger responsibility, sometimes more money, independence, all kinds of different things. So finding those things, that's where I struggled, was finding those things that, whoa, the camera auto adjusted there. Finding those things that brought me joy. Early in my career, it was money, chasing money. Then it became responsibility. Um, what, how much of this company can I be responsible for? That was the next step that I took. Then, as I worked through those, I started to narrow in on that thing, as we talked about, that really brings me joy. So over those misses and sometimes hits, I kind of figured things out. Yeah, this guy, Agile Biker, it was a warm and joyous welcome, as it should be, as it will be. As long as you're not taking cheap shots at me, they'll be warm and joyous. You get what you put in, my friend. Okay, so we're about 15, 16 minutes in. If anybody has any questions or would like to get our illustrious chat involved in thinking about how they can help you, because I know they will, now is the time to start dropping those things in and saying, hey, I could use a little help with this. Because I challenge you to find a better opportunity to get this quality of help on a regular basis for free. I do. I challenge you. Bring it on. I would love to know how you're going to get this level of coaching for free, where you know you can get it every week. Not going to find it. I hope you do, but I wouldn't waste time trying to find it. And yes, Agile Biker, you would do that. You would, because you're a good friend, and that's what friends do. Ah, dang, Steven with more good stuff. If you join the Discord, you can get the questions answered 24/7. Damn it, he's good. Let's see the latest fad in Discord, not in Discord. Dear Lord, the latest fad in Agile. It feels to me like we're in. It's like after the honeymoon period. Everyone's starting to question, did I make the right move in marrying that person? Did I make the right move in hitching myself to the Agile wagon? Does it really work? All of those things. It feels to me like there's this downward trend in the love affair with Agile. I think for the operators, that's trending down. I think for disconnected leaders, that trend is still going up because they unfortunately have Agile translated to them somehow. I don't know who does it, but it does seem very common that Agile means faster. And the definition of Agile, just in like Webster's, forget the methodology, isn't about being faster. It's about being quicker and more responsive. But somehow that message gets translated into the ever joyous more with less. So that's my personal view. I would love to hear what you guys think about that. What is the latest fad? I feel like safe has run its course. Fast and quick. Fast and quick. They're often tied together. Like if you think in the physical world, fast will be your top speed. Quick is how quickly or how suddenly you achieve that top speed. When you look at Agile, when you look at Agile, it is about quick responses. And that's it. That doesn't mean you write code faster. It doesn't mean you build products faster. Ultimately, the success is that you build the right thing sooner because you're more responsive to everything that's happening, to all of the change. So you can make the adjustments that are needed to make sure that you build the right thing the thing of most value sooner than you would have in the past. Now, there's still times in the past with classic waterfall where you maybe got it perfect. And this is the most important thing. This was the most important thing. And nothing over your 12-month period of working on it changed the fact that it's the most important thing or how you build it. Nothing changed that would enable you to build it faster, smoother, easier, whatever. That can happen in waterfall without a doubt. Your likelihood of that happening over the long haul lessens, just given the amount of change that's out there. I think you deliver value sooner. What happens in executive brains is faster equates to, oh good, now all of a sudden I'm getting 10x out of my developers because they're typing faster, they're writing code faster, they're testing faster. And the important message that I have to sell over and over again, it's it's not that they execute faster, it's that we as leaders remove the distractions, remove the waste that often slows them down. So I often turn the table and say this transformation is less about the people that are making things happen on the ground. It's more about this leadership crew around, are we removing all distractions from our team so that they can really optimize, really focus, really hone in on those top tier items in your value world? Okay. That is good to hear that people are moving on from safe. I think that was kind of destined. It was sold to be the silver bullet. And those of us that live in this space know, number one, there's not a silver bullet. Oh, sounds like trouble out there with my youngest and the dog. I had a feeling this was going to be a crazy stream, knowing it was a half day of school. Oh, it sounds bad out there. So, Agile Biker, yeah, I think you would deliver value sooner, not faster. That's the key differentiator, as I see. And I have to get very intentional with using words when you're talking to executives, because they will latch on to things about faster. That's a dangerous, very slippery slope that I'm telling you, you want to be careful of. Very careful. Because that gets into all kinds of trouble. And then they start looking at like velocity charts. Because remember, velocity is all about speed and direction in the physics world, but which I often try to remind people, but people aren't physics nerds like I am. Yeah. Sooner is the word that I use. But the key is that when you do that, make sure you explain what's allowing them to arrive there sooner. And it is all of the whiplash that happens with a non-existent or poorly prioritized backlog or roadmap, whichever one, more likely the roadmap. Yep. Sooner is the word of the day, like Sesame Street. This episode of Kazi's Ask Me Anything stream was brought to you by the word sooner. Are you delivering value sooner to your customers? If not, show up every Wednesday. We'll help you get there. That will definitely be a TikTok that no one will see, but I'll make it. Oh, gosh. All right. So Let's see. But Boomer Sooner. Oh, with the shirt? Be interested to see the angle that Agile Biker's taking. Actually, I'm going to use this as a screenshot for my Texas friends. Oh, gosh. All right. We've hit that spot where we've covered the things. And I start to say, all right, I think we're going to shut the stream down. Anybody have any questions? And then oftentimes there's a flurry of questions, not snow flurries. So I'll give that a second before we shut her down. Agile Biker, I think that's best discussed at lunch tomorrow. One of the earlier streams on this restart of my AMA streams was me discussing, I think, a higher. I don't like you two right now asking the difficult questions. I felt like I was saying this to make myself feel better, but I enjoy that higher work in progress limit. So I think that's the thing that's right for me. Admittedly, that could be just an excuse for me to not address the problem. But what I found was that same thing that Stephen talked about the excitement he feels when he gets up and goes to work. I would feel that same level of excitement for all the side projects that I was on. And I was actively pruning things. So I was working on things to get them to a MVD, D as in David, where I would have a minimum viable decision on, do I continue doing this? And I was being pretty successful with figuring that out, as I would get things and I would be able to quickly decide, yes, I'm going to keep doing this, or no, I'm not. So I was often pruning things. So to Stephen's questions of item aging, I do have long-lived items. There is progress being made on each one. I only have one that is active in my world that I don't have the same excitement about. So I've got to work on shedding that. But other than that, I feel good, and there's a priority there. Kazi and the content that I'm creating is at the top of the list, because I've found that aside from helping teams, organizations, people grow, that's the thing that brings me joy, like we talked about in the first part of this stream. The other thing is content creation. I think that's that hobby, that outside of work hobby, that in my world, all of my outside of work hobbies tend to like get trapped in the vortex of work. I think content creation is the hobby that gets me excited. And I've got to be excited because I do it for like 4 people. Now, yes, the podcast gets lots of listeners and all that stuff, but all the other stuff that I do, there's the core folks that are there all the time that are wonderful. Many of whom I've never met, but I'll keep doing it. I do it for both groups, for the folks that are there and for me. Um, there just aren't times when I think, "Oh god, I gotta do a stream." Like, I never get that feeling. It's always like, "Okay, cool. It's Wednesday. Let's do this. What are we gonna talk about?" And I'm thinking about it the day before as I start to plan out, "Hey, what am I gonna talk about?" Then this morning, I'm walking the dog and thinking about, "Okay, how do I frame the opening for this finding your joy entry discussion?" And that's enjoyable to me. That's what I like. Yeah, streaming is one of those things where it's a grind, and not only is it a grind because you have to do it on a consistent basis, but you really do have to love it because 99% of the time it will be just you. Like I stream not all, most of the video games that I play. There's hardly anybody that ever shows up. I think the people that show up the most are some of the spam bots that we've seen in here trying to get you to go to some website. uh, but I enjoy it at 11 p.m. at night. Yes, I know. I often do that late at night. That's because I'm working on those other things. So that's at lower end of the priority. But yeah, so that work in progress thing, you know, I've never had spam. I feel like I would like it, but I've never had spam. And right now I'm probably scared of it. It's one of those things that's been around for my 47 years and I've never had. Why have I never had it? So I don't know. Interesting aside. Yeah, and I think all content creation is like that, Stephen. It is just you have to enjoy it because you're likely doing it in the dark. And sure, there's things you can do and ways to get it visible or viewed, but in the end, good content attracts eyeballs or ear holes. So weird. But you just got to keep making it and learning. Like that's a huge piece is not doing the same thing because you can fall into that trap and get pickled. Just show up and do the same thing. So you got to look at your content and say what is working, what isn't working. How do I adjust what I'm doing? And it's hard to know what is or isn't working when you get basically no views or listens or anything like that. But then you got to keep trying things. Same stuff. You got to be agile. You got to be responsive. You got to move quick to find a way to get those viewers sooner, not faster, sooner. Okay. Thank you both for hanging out, being in the chat. Agile Biker, I'm ready for the earful you're going to give me at lunch tomorrow about my work in progress limits. And that's okay. That's okay. As my personal Agile coach, I'm ready for the beating I'm going to take. I'm ready. Bring it on. And Stephen, your book will get mailed before the end of the calendar year. So, yeah, that's going to happen. All right. So, to Agile Biker and Steven, thanks for hanging out in the chat. For those of you that were lurkers in the chat, maybe you are there, maybe you aren't. Maybe I'm just saying that to nobody. But jump in the chat next time. Get your questions answered. It's fun. It's a good time. It's helpful, most importantly. It delivers value. All right. Take care. Agile Biker, that's not nice. I don't like this comment. This comment cuts deep. It hurts. It hurts because it's true. All right. We'll see everybody. Have a good Christmas if you celebrate it. If you're celebrating Hanukkah, have a good Hanukkah. If you celebrate anything else, enjoy that. All right, everybody. Take care.